Yeah, so this stream is going to be a 7 days how to basics starting from day one. Going to go through everything from simple things to crafting to setting up your first base. Yeah, so we're currently playing on a Nevers game. It's basic survival on PS4. So as you spawn in, you get a random spawn. What you want to first do when you spawn in is you want to actually just look to your left or to your right, grab as much grass and all that, just grab whatever you can, stone. You don't really have to follow shit. It's also good to look for snowberries just at the start. It's just as a little food supply which you probably won't run out of if you spawn in the forest. So as you can see here, we've got like quite an abundance. Probably get 20. It's also good to collect the cotton because you can transform the cotton into cloth, which is used for the majority of your stuff for clothing and whatnot. So 9 times out of 10 you will always spawn with a car in front of you. So you just want to loot it. So with the first day, you want to try and get some resources to sell at the trader once you do all the first couple of quests. It's always good to get to the trader as soon as you can on the first day, so you can get a rough idea of where you want your base to be. So now that I've got a bit of resources, I've got enough to make a stone axe, which is always a must, just for now, so you can like, actually chop down trees quicker, get more stone. So like stone, feathers and wood are the main few things you're going to need for like the first part of the game. Just quickly chop down a tree, get some more stone as well. So yeah, it normally does take a while when you're first starting off with a stone axe to break some rocks, but you can later on progress to getting iron pickaxes, iron axes, just sort of speed up things with trees, rocks and anything that you come across that needs to be opened. So just quickly break this one more time so you get the full amount of stone that we can get. It's like we've already got 60. But one thing I do recommend doing is when you first start off and you make your first axe, don't keep making new ones, just repair the same one. You still level up this skill that does repairing, and then eventually when you do come to make a new one, once you've got a set amount of stone, it'll be a lot higher than level 1. because it just saves you wasting 5 stone every time you break one, because at the early stages of the game your stone axes will break every few hits. Also your stamina now, see how my stamina is just depleted in the bottom left, you need to keep an eye on that, because eventually you will get drained, but that's where your skills will come into later on once you start levelling up your player more. But for the time being, whilst we wait to build up, we'll just carry on doing the quest in the top right. So the first one's, we've got plant fibre, which we started hitting at the start, and we've got to make a bedroll, which we now are making. So as soon as that's done ready, we'll place that and then carry on with the next quest. There you go, that's just finished making. Just finish off this and then we'll place it. So there's the first quest done. Now you can actually pick up your own bedroll if you want, because that'll be where you'll respawn if you actually die. So when you do get to making a house, you do technically want it close by, so we'll just pick that up now. The next quest I've just had is to make a stone axe, so I'm going to scrap this one, get some of the resources back, and then make a new one. And you see that's now level 3, because it's slowly upgraded, so like I said, once you've got a few more you can just keep making new ones. Next quest is making clothes, so we just get a bit more plant fibre. Plant fibre is quite useful, so you need it to make bows and basics of materials and all that do require plant fibre. It's always good to pick up the little bits as well on your first day, like I said, just because everything has a sell value later on once you get to your trader. So now we need to craft some clothes. So gloves, hood, pants, shirt, shoes. What I tend to do is I'll make the fibre hat as well, because it cools your player down in the heat, so if you're in the desert area this is becoming quite useful. But it's also quite useful just in this area as it is in general. So as all them are done making, the next quest after this will be to equip it all. So there we go. Yeah, but like I said, I prefer wearing the plant fibre hat, as it does minus 10 degrees if you're hot. But like I said, it's all down to where you are. So as you can see there, insulation minus 10, but we don't want that just because of where we are at the minute. So I'm just going to scrap it again. Right, next we need to make wooden clubs, so we've already got the abundance of wood. So let's make that quickly, which is there. Also good to collect your tyres, just because there's a chance of actually picking them up, which you can sell at the trader. Okay, so now we need to find some feathers to make a bow and arrow, which is why I said like collect some rocks as well, because it all comes in handy eventually. So just keeping an eye out for birds' nests, which is normally on the floor around your spawn. There you go, that'll do it, chicken. He's gonna fuck off, you know. Yeah, it's always good to check the spawn house you're spawning as well. Sometimes some useful things like that, you can sell that in a minute. Also, if you hit the bed, get some cloth, pick up the chair, you can scrap that, you get some more wood. See, like everything does have a use that you find. And like if you chop this sofa up, you get leather. Now at the minute I'm just trying to find that bird's nest that I'm going to need. There we go, one right there. Let's quickly make some arrows. Make as many as you can. 13's on the lot, but it's what you got to make do with. And then you also want to make a bow. So if you go onto this page here, it's in the top right there, you can see your food and water. So you only get given one food, one water, which is why I said pick up the snowberries. Now snowberries can be poisonous if you eat more than 4 in one go, so I recommend eating 3 every hour in the game, just to sort of keep you going. There we go, I'm not going to touch any more of that, just because like I said, any more you probably poison yourself. So if you quickly put these onto the quick craft on the quick bar item, so that's all it. Reload the bow by pressing circle, and then you should be set now. So now the next task is you actually want to just start building the basics of a house. So you need 3 frames. As soon as they're done, upgrade them. The next task is making a campfire, which is 8 stone. Let's quickly plant that. And there we go. That's the first 8 basics quests. So now it's going to the trader. So in your compass it'll point out to where exactly it is. So this one is just safe. Now this is where on the way you want to try and pick up as much stuff as you can just to sort of sell. So what I like to do is, like I said, pick up the cotton and then you can actually transform that into cloth fragments which can sell for more. So there you go. And we can make 16 from 32. You can follow the road to get to the trader, which isn't always the easiest option, or you could just cut across the hills. It's up to you which, but you'd probably find more loot on the roads, like because you'll come across houses, you'd find random tree stumps which actually do hold loot. And you won't actually encounter your first zombie till about 12 o'clock, so I should be encountering some any time now. But here, up here, there's normally some around this building. At the minute, yeah, 4 just spawning. So at the minute, we're not going to check this just because you could potentially get in there. But it's easier to loot everything in there with the 9 pickaxe. So we'll mark that a bit later on the map before we get attacked. So we'll just quickly save waypoint on that. And just put it as a tent. So you can sort of, the 2 methods of killing the zombies, you're going to sort of get close and personal or use your bow. So a bit like Skyrim, if you actually crouch and try and take them in the head, you'll do double damage, just because I haven't noticed yet. It's always good as well to listen. If your TV allows you to hear the directions of walking, you can sort of tell which way they're coming from if you've got your back turned, so you don't have to keep checking. Now that the game a bit closer, you sort of want to swap to your club. Method I like to use: run forward, swing, back off. Run forward, swing, back off. See, just heard one come up behind me there. There's one just behind that wall. If you hit a master down, you'll get a triple damage as well. Just like that. There you go, it's all taken care of. It's good to loot the bodies as well. You can get random loot just from finding them. Good little trick with the bodies as well is if you actually hit them, you'll get animal fat, which can then be used to make more torches for later on in the game for your house. But what you also want to try and get is a bone, because the bone can actually be used to skin animals for like the food and to get more animal fat off of them. We could kill him, but he's actually not a threat to us just because he's behind the wall at the minute. So we'll just carry on walking towards the trader. Like I said, if you do follow the road, you'll come across cars a lot more easier, as proven here. So we'll look at that. That's a good find, because like it'll sell for quite a bit, but it's only saying it'll be for like 16. It's still more money than we need. So you do need to sort of get to the trader before 10 o'clock in game, as that's when the night time starts, and you do sort of want a torch or a house by that time. I'm just going to quickly start making my way there properly now. I'm just going to scrap my bed because I don't need it at the minute. And also get rid of the food that I've just found, the rotten flesh. There we go, we found some more water now as well, so that's another good thing. So if you just drink some, replenish our stock. You'll get given the glass jar. You can keep the glass jars, they do come in useful when you need more water and you find a water source. So like I said, pick up chairs to get wood. Just going to quickly loot all this. Just found a cooking pot. You always want to keep at least one cooking pot, as it will help towards cooking your food later on. Murky water is what you want to keep, because then you can turn that into clean water once you've cooked it. There is always an upstairs, but it's just normally for like cloth and leather like here. But we're just going to skip the rest of that and quickly head to the trader now. So I'm sort of cutting off track and I'm just going to run straight towards it now, whilst picking up whatever I can. Make some more arrows now that I've found some more feathers. Like I said, just pick up whatever you can on the way. Just all more stuff to sell, and then more chance of getting what you need on the first day at the shop. So you do want to try and get yourself a mining helmet, otherwise you pretty much won't be able to see at night, or a flashlight, but you're very limited then with what you can hold. So being as we're just in this car, I'm just going to quickly go and rob it and then carry on with my journey. We're getting pretty close now anyway. Scrap that. Nothing. So as you can see, the game does get quite dark quite quick. So like I said, it is key to getting a torch of some sort or a mining helmet. You can normally find them in cars if you're lucky, or in tree trunks, but your best bet is to buy one at early stages. Let's make them torches out of the animal fat I've just found already. Just send that out the way. I am hunted, as you just heard, by the zombie distance, but we're just going to keep walking until our stamina's back up. There we go. That one was really close. I probably just stood right by me there. Got some more feathers. Some eggs as well, which is a good food source if you can collect them. Another zombie right there, just walk right past him. Okay, so there's a trader just in front of us. So as soon as my guy wants to speed up, we'll sell what we need to. There you go, you will get some skill points just for doing that. I think you get 5. There we go.
Hey, asshole, you better not bring any
Sell
good
everything we got.
pieces into my store.
It's better to bulk sell as well, as he'll give you extra money for when you sell bulk.
All that damn gawking at goods, and that's all you
I
buy?
think so. Some of the stuff you wouldn't buy, but we can scrap it and then get the resources that will come off of it. So now that you've quickly just sold everything in your inventory, what you can actually do is just have a quick run around. If you've normally got some food or some extra loot, you can actually take, and you can actually sell some of it back to them. So even this, the burning barrel, you can actually sell. Gas barrel, which is actually quite a good thing, that will sell quite much, but it is a valuable resource that you will need yourself. So it's up to you if you want to keep it, sell it. Just found a red shirt, so we'll equip that because it does better insulation than the cloth fragment clothing we just found. I'm not really paying too much interest into what I'm picking up just because of the time. I need to get in and out of here and then get to the next house.
Okay, Bucker. You respect the shop rules, we'll get along just fine.
Okay then, so we've got about 1,000 cash, so we'll have a quick look at what we can buy. So you're not going to be able to buy too much just yet. Anything's useful.
Just to let you folks know, Trader Joel's will close soon.
So what we can look into buying is just a weapon of some sort. So we could potentially buy a hunting knife, and what else? Let's go for an Iron Force club just to replace our wooden one.
Even if it's to a skilled bag like
Now, like I said, the knife is pretty much just for skinning animals. You can use it as a weapon. Oh fuck! That shouldn't have happened. It just kicked me out because it's close to 10 o'clock, and I spawned right into some zombies. But with these type of zombies, the will put themselves out straight away. On the settings I play on, I've turned off sprinting zombies at night time, so it is a choice whether you have them being able to run or walk. But for newbies, I'd recommend playing at first without it. Yeah, so now it's night time, you're sort of a bit fucked if you haven't really got a shelter, but playing on Never's game, you sort of can get a feel for where you are. So if you've played on the map before, you sort of know the layout, or you can print out the layout, but I know for a fact just around here there's going to be a house that we probably can set up base. So if you just head over in that direction, we'll probably find it just over this hill. Like I said, you'll spawn in different locations, but if you can get a feel of exactly where you are just from the trader, you'll sort of know where bits are. Like, it's the same map, but you just get different spawn locations. As long as you can sort of pick out where you are, that'll help you out a lot. So yeah, there you go. Just a house just spawning up in front of us now. The house that I knew about. Now, there is going to be quite a few zombies in here. So what you're going to do is, if you've got an extra torch, just quickly set them down. Because you won't be able to fight without any weapons, and then just equip whatever you've got. You've got to be careful though, just in case you get stunned like I did. I want to bandage up quickly, because you'll bleed out. Like I said, if you keep sticking to the wall on the house, you'll be able to sort of lead them around a lot easier and take them out one by one. Try and loot them as and when as you can. It's a bad time to be making arrows just because the zombies are right there, that's it. But it's nothing you can sort of recover from as long as you keep at what you're doing. Oh, not today. If you aim for the head, you'll have more chance of stunning them and knocking them down. It's allowing you to get that kill shot in, right there. So now that they're all dead, like I said, once you get a better knife, you'll be able to get more fat and potentially bones from them. They're all coming useful, it's like there, I've just dropped some bones. Let me just quickly make some space. So we just popped up saying we're hungry, so we just eat some food. Blood bags are good to keep because they actually add health and give you food and drink. There we go, so our food's nearly full and so is our drink. There we go. So now that we've got some more animal fat, we can actually make some more torches, which I'm just going to leave my torches just up around the house for now. Just so we can sort of see what's happening around it. It's always good to try and get rid of the bodies if you can as well, otherwise they'll just be stood there forever and they won't disappear. Have I got any cotton? Yes, I do. So like I said, just put some around the house just so you got an idea of what you can see, and I don't know why I picked that back up. There we go. Now we will need to fix that up a bit later on. So now we can actually go upstairs and try and get inside the house. Now there's multiple ways in. You can either try and knock down the door, you can probably go through the window. Or all houses do have a ladder somewhere on the house. Well, these type of houses do have a ladder just there. Hang on. So you can actually climb up the ladder and get through the roof. Now, either way, at some point you're going to have to replace all the glass windows, so you can potentially jump through, but just try and aim for the table in the middle if you do decide to put it there. But it does stop them from being able to get in easier for the house. But what I tend to do is I just tend to go for this window here and replace it a bit later on. There we go. Now just going to plonk some torches down, just so we can sort of see a bit more. So then you can actually use this type of house as your base. So it's just quickly make a bed, so even if I do die I'll always spawn back here. Now you just want to break up little bits and bobs just around the house, like the sofas and all that, because it's extra leather which can be used to make better clothes. Just water, rotten flesh. More glass jars. So now in my bed I like to put it downstairs because I'd never normally open. I'd always upgrade this door, like break down, put in a new one, and I'd never use that to come in and out of the house. I'd always use the upstairs door because I normally tend to barricade that off, like I said. So I'd normally put my bed just behind here. But like I eventually do get rid of all this and make a proper bed. Now if you look at it, sometimes you'll actually find a pistol in the toilets, and there's always a toilet in a house. So we'll quickly check. No. But like I said, it's a chance that you can take to see if there's any in there. So now what we want to do is we want to make a campfire. And then you can put your thing in, that, in the top right, cooking pot, and now using the dirty water you've got you can actually turn that into cookable water, but you do need to put some sort of fuel in the fire, so you could put wood, cotton if you've got a lot of cotton, paper, What I like to do is I normally tend to get a stack of wood and put that in there as it burns for quite a while. So if you can get full stack, which is 6,000, like I say, you'll have 99999 amount of fuel to burn. So we quickly cook off all the water we got and all the eggs. Now eggs do use water, so you need to be careful for how many you're cooking off. But because I'm getting 4, I can sort of risk it. And the next thing we're going to make whilst that cooks off is I'm going to make a secure wooden chest on a door. Knock this one down. Yeah, that even on the inside you're going to be a bit protected if anything comes. So now that door's broken down, you can put your own in, because you wouldn't have been able to unlock it if you left it. So now that you can actually upgrade it. I recommend trying and do as much as you can. So there we go, we've got a bit of iron on there to keep it a bit more secure. Need new shovels to quickly replace that, and then make 2 wooden frames just to replace the hole in the window we made. And we'll do another 2 just to make it even on each side. Now by doing this, zombies can actually smell you, but if you cover up the windows, they can't smell you as much. But they'll still know where you are. But it's just a bit more protection from you anyway. Okay, so I'll plant that chest down there. Put it anywhere where you feel necessary, so I'm just going to plant that there. You might want to unlock it just in case you decide to play with split screen with a friend. And now what I tend to do in here is anything that I know I'm not going to use, it's like the hat, the brass, I can all put in here just to sell, but because I haven't got a storage space at the minute, I can pretty much put everything in here that I'm not going to make space, so I don't have to carry it, so that can all go in. Essentially move a bit of food, a bit of water, and then the crafting resources I need. So now all that's done, turn off the fire. Now eventually we will come back once we've got this iron pickaxe, because there's an armoured safe in there which normally tends to have gun parts. But just because it has 2,000 hit points, 2,500 hit points, it's a bit useless to try and break into it with a normal stone axe. So it's just a waste of time. It'll take you like 2 hours in game, and this early on it's not something you really want to be doing. And like I said, because I know where I am, I know if we just go head towards there where the water is, you can see in the distance, there's a few houses just there. So we're going to sort of go there now, see what we can get. We can kill a few more zombies, get a bit more loot and resources. So we will need to get a lot more stone, wood, because we're going to start building the house, because on day 7 is when the horde comes. So pretty much from day 2 onwards you need to make sure you've got a supply of water, decent amount of food. Like I said, if you've got snowberries for now, then that'll do. It's always good just to be prepared. Okay, so look here, there's water, and in there there's an actual floating hut, which does tend to have a weapons crate in there, so you can tend to go and rob that if you want to get yourself wet a bit later on, which we'll do. For now we'll just stick to these houses that I know about. So if you want, you can sort of just walk around and get a bit of a feel of the area. So there is sometimes some wooden, some log crates. But I can't seem to see any because it's a bit dark. Oh, there we go, one on the floor. Quickly to get some help out. So yeah, it's a bit awkward because you haven't got a torch to see where they are, but you can sort of mark out the silhouettes of them. Wait, there's one. No, there is one on the floor right there. Do you want to try and keep as many of the zombies inside, then you know exactly where they are, so you can deal with them as quick as possible. And there you go, I'm not hunting no more, but you can still hear one because there's one sort of close by. That was zombie just had some bullets on her, so if we get a hunting rifle or anything that shoots, that's a hunting rifle or assault rifle, we can now use that. Just because we've got the bullets, we need to find the correct components for it first, or to make it or buy it. We can make some torches so we can see. Chuck that. And now, because I've got 10 bones at home, I don't actually need any more, and because I've got a knife. So it's up to you if you want to carry them or not. Now, as you can probably see, my health has decreased down to 99 instead of 100. That's just because I've been hit a few times. But you can get your wellness back up by eating proper foods, like such as eggs that's been cooked, steaks that have been cooked. Now, there is a zombie in here, you can just see that to approach the door. One thing you do want to make with cloth fragments is armour, so you take less damage, because at the minute I'm getting hit pretty much left, right and centre just because I haven't got the right weapons or anything. But as soon as you can make a bit more armour, so it decreases how much damage take you get. Now if you hit that in the fireplace, you will get some charcoal and some wood. And like the charcoal can be used as a source of fuel for your fires and whatnot. But like I said, I tend to use wood as there's like more trees than there is coal and petrol to find. But like I say, it's down to personal preference. If you rather use that, then you can use that. Hunting rifle schematic, that's now can learn actually how to make a hunting rifle. Make one more torch. Like I said, torches you will need a lot of in the early game just to light up certain areas of your house until you learn how to make, well, until you get the resources to make a better one. Now as you can see, it's brightened up a lot more outside than it was earlier. can kill deers and whatnot to get a supply of food, but as soon as you get close with the bow and arrow, they just sort of run away. And it's up to you if you want to chase them, but it's a waste of stamina, in my personal opinion. I tend to wait till I've got a hunting rifle. So just a quick scout around the building, see if I can see anything. Zombie here, so I'll just quickly dispose of him. Yeah, it's all of them killed. I am being wary of how many arrows I'm using, which is why I'm sort of getting hit a bit more as well, just because I've only got a certain amount. There they are. Good tell on this point. A knife's always a good buy as well at the start, just because it can work as a weapon, but it is good for skinning animals and zombies, just for the fact you need for torches. Now, every day at 12 o'clock you will get a supply drop, depending on if that's how the game settings are. So in an hour we'll get a supply drop, which we will actually head to this game, like this day. So always good to try and knock them down. It's easier to fight and then give yourself an advantage whilst you got one. See if I need to eat, which I probably do. Yeah. Like I said, I'm still using my snowberries just because I haven't got a proper food supply and I don't really want to eat them just yet. So once I've gotten rid of all these snowberries I've picked up, I will tend to go on to the main food, which will then give you better healing abilities, and then also wellness will go up more. So like you can get a max of 200 health just from eating properly. So in a few seconds you'll hear the airplane coming to the supply drop. We've got about 2 more houses on this area and then we'll head to it. I got a little bit of coal right there just from that one. So now I'm just picking up the glass jars at the minute because I am going to find a lot of them and I don't really want to carry 3 sets of jars, one with clean water, one with dirty and one empty jar. I'd rather not have 3 different stacks, I'd rather just stick to the 2 I've got. And as you can hear now the supply drop's just coming in. Whilst I've got a chance, I'm just going to turn this cloth fragment into cloth. I've turned the cotton into cloth fragment, and then I'm going to actually make some armour. So you got to click on here, so you can get cloth boots, chest armour, gloves, if you want gloves, and then head armour if you want head armour. But like I said, I don't tend to wear head armour because as soon as I get a mining helmet, it replaces the option to wear a helmet. So yeah, if you look there, supply drop will be over in that direction. Normally appears on the compass as the yellow crate. So like I said, we've got one more house and then we'll actually go and check it out. Just quickly having a quick run around the house, seeing if there's any zombies on the outside I can kill just before I head on the inside. Put that right on the floor. Now that all the armour's finished, just quickly equip it all and scrap what I didn't wear. I do need some water, so I'll have a quick drink. Now with water it does replenish 25, so as soon as it pops up 75%, just have a drink. Like I say, it's one of the ones that you don't need to actually do every so often, you can just do it as soon as it pops up. Prepare my tools before I go in the house. There's two zombies in here, let me just plonk down some torches just as I said. Now in this house also there is a gun safe, but like I said, you can try and attempt to do it, but just waste time in this early on in the game. He wasn't dead then, was he? That was weird, it did look like he was dead for a minute. Okay, I can make pistols and a spike back there, which is always a good find to find books because they do add on to your skills and you will eventually get more skill points. Now we will break into this one just because there is a toilet in here and there is a potential of having a pistol in that toilet. Long process to get through. Like I said, gun safe there, but just because I haven't got the right tools for the job, I ain't really going to bother too much with it. That's that building pretty much done now. We can either quickly fill up our water jugs, which I'm going to do, and then head off to the supply drop. Okay, so now that supply drop is going to be a bit risky, just because of where it is, but we're going to go for it anyway. It is in a dog area, so if you look on the map, anything that's dark there is more tendency to have dogs. Come across any bird's nest like so, just pick them up, get the eggs, get the feathers. Feathers is obviously for your arrows, eggs is obviously a food source. I'm just going to check this before going in there. There was a zombie to my left. Here, whilst I remember our skills, as soon as you get some, you want to go survivor, camel, sexual tyrannosaurus. So that is stamina, regenerates quicker, you'll eat food, you won't eat food as often, so like you won't need to feed your character too often, so like to extend the time needed. And then the other one's water, how long it takes for you to, how often you need to drink water. So it is a majority thing, like I said, if you haven't got the right supplies, like a decent food supply or a drink supply, you're sort of don't have to worry about it too much, as it sort of like a 5% difference makes. Just keep eating just to make sure I'm eating a bit more. Now what I like to do is I like to empty all the chests as well, just because on every seven days or so they do regenerate. There's a zombie right behind me somewhere. Another little trick you can do is just jump on top of cars, deal them from above. Like they will try and jump up. So fast we now. So we are getting quite close to the dog zone, so this is where it's going to get a bit risky because there might be dogs just running straight at you. So I do recommend just running straight to where you got to get to, quick looting it and then quick looting, running out. But I tend not to stop for nothing. Just because, like I said, it can be dangerous with the dogs. It's good to keep checking if you're hunted or not as well, and then it gives you a chance to build up a bit of stamina. Also, like I said, if you drink a bit of water, it does replenish a bit. Needed that. It's one area I don't like being in. It's just because of the dogs. Like I said, they're quick. Can take your health down quicker than anything else, especially if they're in large numbers. And there is feral zombies. They can actually run, even though if you turn off zombies can't run, they still will run at you. Just because it's their type of animal, their type of thing. See, there is a zombie on my right, which I'm trying to avoid. Just because my stamina's so low at the minute. As you can say, the yellow smoke does tend to mean that you're getting close. All that. And then you can just leg it in a minute. We've just got an SMG as well, which is the first gun we'll have. Let's head home. So we have just wandered through a bit of an area, a crowded zombie area. So I'm just going to try and skip straight through it. Now you're going to bother try doing it. Like I said, there is a chance of dogs just running from nowhere to attack you. Okay, so now what we're going to do is when we get back to the house, we are actually going to try and open up that safe. I've got to get a bit more up before we attempt it. It's just because there's not much I can do at the night time with low visibility. So I might as well make the most of it and try and get into it at least. So much starting to about. We'll get to 50 anyway. So I can replace it a few times. So as you can see, because I've put some torches down, you can sort of see my house a bit in the distance. I'm going to put down a few more torches, at least 2 on each side in the corners of the wall. Just then you can sort of see a bit more from all directions. As long as I've got 2 on every side, I should be happy. We'll do the same upstairs just because, like I said, we've got enough torches. So I'm only going to put 1 on each corner for now. Okay, so now we're back on. Shall cook off what water we have and eggs. Same as earlier, we'll just sort out the inventory quickly In here, I've got a few things I want to take to the trader in the morning, but I'll wait till we've opened up the chest downstairs. And as I said, we have a new gun. Hasn't got a lot of ammo, like it's got one mag. But we can always get more. So we've got a lot of food making now, we've got a bit more water back. Let's go to work on this. Okay, so that's about it. Make another. Scrub it. Try to make 5 more because eventually we will use them. But it levels them up a bit quicker as well. I was going to say, this is why I didn't sort of want to do it in the first place. But if you've got nothing else to do and you've got a long time to wait before morning and you can't really go outside because you haven't got visibility, best thing to do. At least 71 more hits to go. Nearly done. The zombies outside my house as well. Good times. Okay, I've got some pistol parts here. Now that I can actually make a pistol, I can assemble the parts for it. So you need a grip, parts, receiver, and a barrel. And I've got 2 out of 4. You can add a flashlight to it. That's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to load up my stuff to take to be sold. It's just stuff I'm not going to be needing at the moment. Yeah, they're all downstairs by the sounds of it. Yep. There's a sound there was. Sometimes you do get a horde roaming through. And that might have been some of them being as two and we're just walking off. There is 1 or 2 somewhere. There you go. Okay, so whilst I'm at the trader, I am going to try and at least get some sort of pickaxe. So we need a pickaxe and a shovel because we're going to need to dig and get some stone. There you go, my money. Remember to turn them off every now and then. Put that back because that's good food, the rest isn't. Some foods do take hydration off of you, which is what that does. Empty that bit up. And it's always good to mark your trader if you don't know where it is, but if you're new to the game. So you don't have to go back and find it. But mine's roughly there. Yeah, there. Always mark the trader with the house. So it's like a shotgun. I just thought to upgrade my bow, because I had that one for ages. The first one I made, and I made loads of arrows since, because making arrows does add to your weapons crafting. And that right there is the least thing you want to see heading somewhere is a bear. They will charge the shit out of you. But because I sort of need the stuff you get from it, like the cloth and all that, and the meat, and I do have my gun on me, I am actually going to try and kill it. There you go. Killed it. So I mean you get a lot more food and everything just from using that. And from the carcass you'll just get bones. But now at least I've got some meat so I can actually eat. And more things that will give me better food. Like wellness.
How about I empty your pockets?
Okay, so I need a pickaxe at least. If you can't get a pickaxe, you can always buy the forge joint and then make one yourself, which is always a bonus. Which it looks like that will have to be the case where we have to make it ourselves. But it's not a problem. Yep.
Don't let the door hit you on your way out.
Yep, pickaxe. So I can repair that at least 17 times now.
Yep.
And then because I've got an extra 700, I want to see if it's got any pistol bullets. Just to replace the ones I've just used. But it doesn't. It does refresh tomorrow, so I can have a look there, see if it's got anything then. So we'll keep our money and just jog on. Now in a minute I'm going to go down towards the water where I've seen that little floaty island, so I do want to go there. And I do know that there is actually quite a lot of stone around it, so I will be going there just to sort of get it all out of the way. So let me just quickly sort all this sugar out. Just because I know I'm going to need this a bit later on. So if you go in there, make a bellow, this will be used to make a forge. For the forge you need clay, short iron pipe and some stone. Now I've got everything minus the clay, so I'll sort the clay out in a bit. But for now, just whack that in there and there. Pap, 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 pap. But I'm not going to make it out of iron, I'm just going to make a normal stone one. And because I haven't got no pistol, it's pointless me carrying that. And that just so happens to be on the way to where I'm going. Now, like I said, you can try and take out a deer at this stage, but they are a bit harder to kill if you don't have a gun. Like, if I did have my SMG, I probably would have challenged him, but because I don't, I'm just not going to bother to waste my time or effort. But I am going to go here and then across there, because there is another hit building just there, and then over to the supply drop, and then start on the wood. Sometimes it's a bit awkward to get on the ladders over here, so I do make some steps just to plonk under them. Yep. Yeah, pickaxes are good for iron doors and safes. And axes, like fire axes, are good for anything wooden. Nothing, but there is another chest and there is a body. Dead. Well, that'll come in handy because I need that for my pistol back at the house. And then we're going to head over there next. Two of them fell in the water, so it's easy enough for me. Don't have to deal with them. Just under there somewhere. Zombies can't drain, by the way. I know I said I'd just... Oh, look, that's time now. Other than the old barrel, that was pretty useless. Why am I finding loads of bears? This is actually quite rare to actually see this many bears. But normally you can actually go a while without actually seeing any. If he comes up, that's bad. Like that. Fuck you. It's no biggie though, I can get my stuff back, but he's gonna be there, so it's gonna be a bit of a complicated situation. But I'm gonna leave it there and come back to it later, because I can't be arsed fucking knobbed.